Good afternoon, everybody. I know I told you yesterday that we are going to the next review in our Beatles documentary review series would be the the George Harrison Living in the Material World documentary, but I decided to do a quick review, a quick installment this time. This one is going to be our review of an interview CD that was put out some years ago in the Rock Report series. This one is a series of interviews with John Lennon, um, and I decided to make that part of our Beatles documentary review series, although it's not really a video documentary. This time it is a CD or a audio documentary. Now these interviews were recorded shortly before or after the breakup of the Beatles, when John and Yoko were on their bed-in campaign in Montreal, Canada, I believe. See, they were and I'm sure Yoko still is a big proponent for world peace, and she turned John into one. And like I said, um, these interviews were recorded on the on that publicity tour, or that press junket, when they were conducting their bed-ins, which were a series of press conferences that they conducted in bed for peace. And you can hear at one point during the interviews, you can hear the conversations and questions get a little heated, to the point of John kind of disagreeing with one of the reporters, because she was discounting what the Lennons were saying. And most fans may think that may have thought that John was just doing this for publicity, or for press purposes, but that was not true at all. He was a big proponent for world peace, and I'm just sorry that he didn't live long enough to continue that. And in between these interviews, there is some commentary by the author of the Rock Review series, kind of telling us the backstory, if you will, of these interviews, of how John and Yoko had just gotten married, and for their honeymoon they decided to conduct a series of bed-ins in Canada. And I think Yoko, has gotten a bad rap. She was wrongly accused of breaking up the Beatles. She did not break up the Beatles. They were already on their way to splitting up when she and John met. And so I think she was wrongly accused of breaking up the Beatles. She had nothing to do with it. And so, in all, I give these interviews 5 stars, and I hope you enjoy it. And coming up coming up next in our Beatles documentary review series, probably sometime this weekend, we will be uh, looking at the George Harrison documentary Living in the Material World, which is directed by Martin Scorsese. And also coming up on Tuesday, we will conclude our Neil Young tribute album series with our review of my favorite Neil Young tribute record, This Note's For You Too. So that's what's coming up on Tuesday. Enjoy the interviews.